Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. If you're interested in subscribing to the channel and getting the daily forecast a day early or any of the other readings that are available over only on Patreon, you can go over there and look at the subscription levels and choose one and support the channel in that way. Just go to patreon.com and look at Engelgeist. For those of you that want to support the channel in non-monetary ways, you can certainly hit the like button, the thumbs up button. That greatly helps. Leave me a comment, a question, an idea. If there's something you'd like to see on the channel, I'm more than open to suggestion. What else? If this works for you, please enjoy this reading. Use it however you best see fit. Any decisions you make after having watched this video are your responsibility ultimately. So keeping that in mind, take whatever I say and use it to the best of your ability, but also never underestimate the power of your own intuition. Okay. Beyond that, what else? If things don't really work or they don't seem to fit, it doesn't make sense, that's completely fine. No need to worry or be upset. It just might mean that you might be working on something different at this time. So let me see here. We are working on now Wednesday, November 11th. It is 11/11. Technically it's 11/10 right now. So this is for tomorrow, the 11th. That's the 11/11 portal, which is sort of like the twin flamey kind of thing. I should probably do a twin flame tomorrow. See where that's at. Maybe I'll do that live tomorrow. And let's look at what's going on here. We're building upon the energy that we saw on Sunday's reading. So what do we need to know? Oh, interesting. The Fool. Beautiful card. Really, really beautiful card. I love that, to me, it feels like she kind of included everything that we've got going on here. We've got it looks like a Shiba Inu in the background, right, from the Wise Dog. We have a cat, obviously, from the GRIMALKIN, which is the deck that we're working with. We have a crow from MJ's first deck, and then we have this alligator, which, to me, I have yet to open the Guardian of the Night deck, which it's sitting on my desk, but to me, that resembles sort of something from her newest deck. So this is really beautiful. I love that Fool is the first card of the major arcana. It's the beginning of journeys, right? When we see the lotuses floating on the water, there is spiritual enlightenment to be attained with the Fool. And I believe the Fool is associated with the sign of Aquarius. I keep saying that and I keep not checking it out, but I'm pretty sure it is, which is about expansion, opening up the mind, being sociable, being open to new experiences. I feel like that's a very Aquarian trait. Aquarians love to be kind of meet new people, learn how they are, figure them out, and kind of move on to the next. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just you guys are very mental in that way, right? So this energy to me is sort of exposing yourself to all sorts of things. Now, when I look at this, it's interesting how MJ designed it because it is a cat deck. So I find it cool that she put the cat in a boat, right? Cats naturally don't gel with water. So there is sort of a sense of danger or foreboding, right, for this cat. If he falls into this water, it could be uncomfortable for him. But the boat will carry him, and the cat seems eager to learn the journey or to go on the journey, right? We've also got that alligator or crocodile down in the water, which signifies that there could be danger along the way or things that we might want to kind of keep an eye on. But those dangers, and I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel sort of like that alligator is kind of guiding this cat along. Like, here, I'll show you the way. I mean, if he can get a free meal in the process, great. But he also seems like, he's bored. He'll go along for the ride. So I don't want anybody thinking, oh my God, there's danger afoot or anything like that. But I do sense that, if we fell out of the boat, our whole journey would be kind of wonky and screwed up. Now, I love that we also have the light of the sun, which we had that sun card yesterday. So to me, it feels like that sun is still shining on us, that light is still shining on us. A new day is dawning, a new journey is becoming possible for us. We're not alone in this journey. That's kind of the feeling that I get again from the alligator, the dog, and the crow. All of them sort of bring their innate abilities. To me, the alligator not only can represent sort of like a dangerous situation or something we need to be aware of, not necessarily in fear of, but aware of. But it also is a fierce animal, right? He's a fierce predator. So to me, it could signify the idea of that if we're smart and we're aware and we're paying attention, we can protect ourselves and we can keep ourselves safe, even if the journey feels unknown, right? And then we have the crow, which is to me law, and then the loyalty of the dog, the companionship of the dog, that sort of unconditional love that dogs provide. Cats, they're a little bit more aloof. They are loving, but it's a different sort of style, I would say. So to me, as we're moving through this, is there opportunities for growth, enlightenment? Yes, that's what the lotus blossoms say to me. Yes, the sort of trees are parting and the way is clearing, and we're moving on to something new today. Ideally, hopefully, we're aware of what that new thing is or what it is that we want, right? With the 1111 portal opening up, 1111, if you look up the number, and I could screw this up, I know that it is associated with twin flames and that sort of a love. It's also associated with the number, like when you see it on the clock, that sort of thing. I believe it's sort of supposed to be like a wishes come true kind of thing. Anything that you think about will be manifested. Those sort of messages come with 1111 too. Search out 1111 or the meanings of it online through Google or whatever, and find the meanings that best suit you and what work for you, and maybe sort of turn your attentions towards those meanings today and open up the doors and the channels towards moving your way in that direction, right? Whatever that hope may be. If some of you are looking for a relationship, great. Go for that sort of bonded, soulmate, twin flame kind of experience if it's out there for you and if you desire it. For some of you that may want, I don't know, just a material abundance, great. Let's start that journey. That's what the Fool represents. The Fool also, to me, because it's called the Fool, it has nothing to do with being stupid or silly. What it has to do with is you want to be open, sort of available to all possibilities, yet don't lose your sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not intelligence, because it's not necessarily an intelligence thing, but I want to say like don't lose your awareness, like take it all in, be open to it, be almost naive to it to a degree, but not so naive that you're doing anything that's dangerous, right? In the sense that you're maybe being messy or not paying attention to the the potential for crocodiles in the water, so to speak. But if we're aware that the crocodiles are there, they can be part of our journey. And when I say crocodiles, I'm speaking metaphorically, like bad situations or people that might attempt to be sly with us and not tell us the truth, or situations that could potentially bring us harm or be dangerous. We can use them along the way as guides for us. So that's kind of the sense that I'm getting from this crocodile in this card, is that he's not necessarily all bad. I'm not saying run into like precarious situations, but I am saying that don't fear them. Be open like the Fool. Be willing to learn from them. And we don't get held in them as long. We don't struggle with them as much, if that makes sense. And we can move through them, learn from them, and use them to kind of help us down this metaphorical river of this new journey. I hope that makes sense. I hope I don't sound too trippy there, but I get it, so I imagine you guys do too. So let's see what the Empathic Oracle has to say. What do we need to know? Ooh, I love it. Okay, so this is purity. And this is on a number 40, right? Card number 40, which has to do with, which boils down to a number 4, and numerologically 4s represent to me that idea of stability, right? Are these little shells? I believe these are little shells. They almost look like air bubbles to me. But I think they're supposed to be shells. They're so tiny in my eyesight, even with my glasses, I can't tell. What I want to say is there's a shimmer going on in the darkness here, right? And when I think about the 4, the energy of a 4, right, about that idea of 4 legs on a table, or bringing about stability, or rooting, right, grounding, right? The purity of who we are is kind of the also, I would say, the optimistic nature and the innocence of the fool, right? When we boil things down to who we really are and what we really truly desire, we can kind of have this fool energy in the sense that, and don't be misled by the fool's name. The fool is about being open, keeping our wits about us, but being open and ready and willing to experience whatever sort of the universe has for us, right? And in the process of that, I think that where these two cards intersect is that when we are open like that and we're willing to experience with that optimism and that enthusiasm of sort of the fool's energy, we get to also see the purity of who we are, what we're capable of, how we handle situations, especially new situations, and how we adapt our skill set if we're paying attention, right? If we're watching ourselves from a more impartial view, not necessarily one of judgment, as we're watching ourselves sort of move forward along the journey, even if it's unknown or feels a little bit uncomfortable at times, if we adapt and we use our senses and we're enjoying the experience, even as we're learning, whether it be comfortable or uncomfortable, we get this more pure sense of who we are. And what I like about this card is that whether those are air bubbles or those are shells, they're shimmering in the darkness, right? And to me, that sort of feels like maybe our spirit, right? Where the individuality that is us will shimmer no matter what, as long as we give it the attention and the opportunity to do so, right? So that's kind of my take on those two cards together. Let me see what the grounding force is together. Okay, so this actually looks like the purity stone, or the purity card. This is Snowflake Obsidian. So to me, this is a blend of both light and dark. Obsidian is a very grounding stone. It's also very much a stone that is about warding off negativity. I don't know the full-on properties for Snowflake Obsidian. You may want to look it up and see what it's good for, but it may have a tie in there. It definitely is reflecting that purity stone, right? Those white bubbles or white shells on a black background. This sharing is, to me, this idea of not only sharing the experience of the Fool and the new journey, the excitement of that, and being open to all of it. That's also sharing ourselves, right? But also sharing the purity of who we are, the sort of appreciation of who we are, and allowing others to sort of see that, both light and dark. That's the white and the dark of the Snowflake Obsidian to me. Also the light and dark of the, excuse me, of the purity card. We also see light and dark reflected in not only the water that the Fool's journey is taking place on that river, but also in the, we have the light and dark in the cat and then in that crow up above him. Excuse me, Lemmy this morning. Okay, so I think this is also about, embracing those things, right? We have the light of that sun up above us shining down upon us, all of like who we are and everything that is within us. So take this time to see ourselves from a more pure perspective, share, openly within ourselves, about ourselves, being open. Does that make sense? That's kind of the idea of sharing too, is that openness again. And also remembering that our journey is shared with each other. As we move through it, even if we're dealing with a Karen or somebody that drives us nuts, they're there to kind of, maybe do exactly that, is drive us nuts, to challenge us in a way so that we can get back to that pure form of who we are and find that stability within ourselves. And for those of you that, are meeting people that you enjoy and that are moving you forward in the process, they're all part of that journey too, and that's to be shared with them, right? That appreciation. Now, you don't have to go up and say that to them, but you can certainly feel that from within, and that opens you up even more and more for this energy of the Fool and the newness and the experience. It puts you kind of more in that alignment of assistance rather than resistance, is kind of my idea. All right, so let's read the Fool really quick. First card of the Major Arcana, guys. So this cat's name is Trouble. He looks like he's about to, he wants to find some in that boat. I'm kidding. All right, symbolism. The boat is connection to the earth, smoothly riding the emotions. The dog is warnings from those on the sidelines. The crow is intuition. The alligator is unknown possible threat. The lotus flower is connection to spirit, turning a difficult situation into something beautiful. And that's kind of what I see the alligator as. It's funny, but I feel like the alligator can be a threat, that those threats, if we're aware of them and we use them to our advantage, if we're smart about it, they can actually guide us along our journey. They don't have to harm us, or they're actually teachers. The weeping willow is going into the unknown. So the message, the fool asks you to have confidence as you embark on a new adventure. Know that when you feel grounded, when you feel that connection to the world around you, regardless of where you stand, your instincts will keep you afloat. This is also, instincts definitely keys into that purity card, right? The purest form of who we are. Much like that dog on the riverbank, there will always be those who will project their fears as they are so focused on what may be lurking about in the water that they could never conceive of a vessel that would be strong enough to protect them. Trust your instincts and have faith that the journey you are on will not be in vain. If the fool appears in a reading, you may want to ask yourself if you are trying too hard to control this situation. Can you go with the flow? On the other hand, you may need to consider if your actions are reckless or if you are acting impulsively without acknowledging the consequences. The energy attributes positive, free to explore without fear, spontaneous and almost childlike when making decisions, open to new experiences without expectations. And then the negative would be disregard for the consequences or the impact on others, carefree to a fault, lacking self-control, and acts on impulse only. I don't think that that's the case with us, only because we have this purity card coupled with it. This is about us being a truer, more, I hope, balanced or stable form of ourselves. That's the number 4 energy and purity. But for those of you that are being a little bit foolhardy, reel it in. All right, number 40, purity. In the innocence of the moment, one has no judgment of good or bad. In the seemingly random moments of feeling, you tend to reach into the past memory of experience and dictate into the present what the emotions of the moment should be. What if you approach each presentation from others with a possibility that the dualistic judgment of your path may be dictating your intentions? See, to me, this is about staying open like the fool and not trying to judge what we're experiencing now by our past. All right, with the energy of innocence, again, the fool's energy, there may be an opportunity to gain a better understanding of all the forces that make up the moment, allowing a better set of choices to be made. It is not that you should not trust your instincts, but instincts gained from prior wounds serve no one. And I'll say this too before I read on. Those prior wounds could be keeping us from taking this fool's journey. We don't want to do that. We want to take the journey. As an empath, you can feel beyond the pictures and the labels of your wounded past by staying in the innocence of the experience. Just as a child feels, emotions can be navigated from one experience to the next without the burden of emotional baggage. Am I allowing myself to be present without judgment? Can I overcome past wounds to feel the purity of the moment? Am I quickly jumping to conclusions and not allowing the flow of energetic information to give me all of the necessary clues? I think that cat in the Fool card looks like he's actually wide open to the clues. He's maybe even seeking them out in earnest. And so allowing those to come to you would be really beautiful today, and allowing them yourself to sort of share in the knowledge of them also would assist you in whatever it is you're trying to pursue, in whatever new journeys might be coming available to you. All right, that is your forecast today, guys. I hope it makes sense. I hope you're enjoying these. Please give me a like or a thumbs up. If you want to ask a question, feel free to do so. If you're interested in a private reading, you can certainly contact me via the Facebook business page. For those of you watching on YouTube, please go and like the Facebook business page, and vice versa for you. Those of you that may see this on Facebook, please go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And beyond that, I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll see what else happens. What was the energy underneath this? We have that King of Swords. So I will add this really quick, and then I gotta go. The King of Swords will give us the practicality and the logic to move along this fool's journey with no problem. Okay? So keeping that in mind too, because that's a pretty powerful intellectual card and clear decision making. All right, have a wonderful day, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.